Well, it's usually her husband that gets all the attention, but Illinois' First Lady is being noticed for an extraordinary friendship. CBS's David Begnaud shows us how MK Pritzker became close to a woman who spent more than 2 decades behind bars.
These two women have formed an unlikely alliance. The First Lady of Illinois, MK Pritzker, and Willette Benford, who served 24 years in prison.
Is this the first time you're seeing her room?
First time.
Yeah, first time.
This was the room that Benford called home for the first year of her life after prison. Inside of Grace House, a residential program in Chicago that supports women exiting the prison system.
It was the first room that I was in that I could literally walk in and out of, and not have to worry about someone locking me in it.
In 1995, Benford was sentenced to 50 years in prison for first-degree murder. Benford says she was in a violent same-sex relationship, and she tried to flee one night.
I ran and jumped in my car. She jumped on the hood of the car, and I pulled off. Not knowing the area, I turned around and came back up the street, and that's when they said I hit her.
Benford says, and court records reveal, that her attorney advised her to hide the details of the domestic violence because she was in a same-sex relationship, and the attorney feared that might turn off the jury.
None of the domestic violence, the times I had her arrested or the times I went to the hospital, none of that was talked about in court. After I was incarcerated, I got my GED.
In 2016, there was an amendment to an Illinois law that added abuse as a factor to consider its sentencing. Because of that, Willette Benford became eligible for resentencing.
You got credit for time served?
I got credit for time served, and I was released on February 6, 2019. How many women do you think are sitting in prison that didn't get the opportunity that I got?
That's what I'm saying.
I am what it looks like to give someone a fair chance, not a handout, but a hand up.
And that takes us to 2022. Chicago's mayor wanted to brand the city as a place for second chances. So she hired Benford as the city's first director of reentry for people leaving prison re-entering society. There, Benford helped to reform background checks for 2,500 city jobs, so that some convictions would not disqualify candidates from getting employment. Her record on the job impressed Illinois' First Lady MK Pritzker, who offered Benford a top job as Pritzker's senior advisor on women's issues.
Everybody at some point in their life needs someone who believes in them. I want you to say to me what she means to you.
I look at her as someone that I can trust, someone that is a friend, believes in me, and someone that did not second guess her decision when she hired me.
She brings an intelligence and a vigor to this work that I don't think anybody else could do.
That was David Begnaud reporting. Together, the pair has made some remarkable accomplishments. You can see their success in the extended story you'll find on CBSNews.com.